Guys, welcome back to another episode of Before the First Cast. I hope guys are having a great Friday already. Guys, I have a special guest with us tonight, Mr. Matt Harmon. Guys, welcome back. We have our guest, Mr. Matt Harmon. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
Good, man. How about you?
Good, good. Can't complain. So, we're going to jump into it right now. For the guys that don't know you, or this is their first time listening, kind of give us a little bit about yourself and how you got into fishing.
Uh, well, I grew up on Bugs Island. Um, my best friend and I, we pond fish a lot because he's got a farm with a bunch of ponds on it. And then we're like, we're getting great at this. And then when we're like 14, we started fishing tournaments. And I mean, right out of the gate, we're doing pretty well. I mean, we won one out of Bluestone that a fire department put on when we were 15. So I mean, we spent a lot of time on that water too. I mean, his house was on the lake, so um, you know,
Yeah,
Billy
so
calls. Billy calls. So I was telling him, because mid lake right now is still muddy.
mhm.
I'm like, I've been spoiled by Smith Mountain because I'm used to clear water. I mean, it's like being back home on Bugs Island. Like, I don't want that anymore. I want my clear water back. So, um,
Yeah, you
yeah.
kind of hit what we were going to talk about tonight. Since you are fairly local to Smith Mountain, so um, tell us about Smith Mountain. How did you get to it? You know, how did you become such a good fisherman on Smith Mountain?
Uh, a lot of time on the water. So when I got out of the military in '07, I didn't want to move back home because there's like no jobs down there unless you work at Microsoft or you're a farmer. And you know, I didn't want that to be my only two options. So my mom was in Boone's Mill, so I moved to Roanoke and did a lot of river fishing. Kind of got burnt out on it. Musky fishing is always fun, but um, started fishing the lake. And my first, I guess this is my sixth year fishing Smith, but the first year or two was really tough. Um, because I'm used to Bugs Island, I could pattern fish. Um, like today, I caught six fish in a 100-yard stretch. Those fish should be gone tomorrow. Um, they're not spot oriented as much, especially in the pre-spawn because they're moving, they're feeding up. Um, more late spring, summer, you can kind of get on a little pattern and stick with it. But wintertime, pre-spawn, they're moving around a lot. So if you're running into schools of them, and you're banking on that for a derby, I mean, chances are they're going to be gone. So you pretty much just have to stay on the fish. I mean, you fish Smith Mountain, you have to stay on them.
Oh yeah,
You take a month off, it's like, where do I start? And they change so much.
yeah. So would you say they're in pre-spawn? Are they moving that way? Where are they?
Oh, they're
Oh,
they're definitely they're definitely in pre-spawn mode right now. Full on pre-spawn.
okay.
Um, you know, Today, well, low pressure helped too, but there are a lot of shallow, which you get with low pressure. And I mean, there was some. I caught someone jerk baiting like 3 feet of water.
Mm.
Um, but then you hit some off and 30 foot that were on a brush pile. I mean, they're spread out, but your bigger fish right now uh, are swimming around in wolf packs, and you'll see them. You don't see them suspending as much, but you'll see them just swimming.
Hmm.
They're looking for bait, and that's if you can get a bait in front of them, that's the ones that pay off for you.
So are they more spread out, or are they in backs of creeks, mid lake? What are you seeing?
Man, they're freaking. they're spread out all over the place. I mean, right now it's just covering a lot of water
Mhm.
and a lot of water. Um, I don't know how much shoreline I covered today. I mean, it was a lot. I caught a ton of fish, but I just covered a lot of water, and that's the key to it right now. Well, I mean, even even if you roll up on a wolf pack and you catch one out of it, they're pretty much done.
Mhm.
Because they'll follow that fish to the boat and they're like, oh wow, I see what's going on here, and then they're off. So then you're off to find another one, another wolf pack, or if you're trying to fill out a limit, a school. I mean, there's a ton of schools of like 2 pounders. I mean, you can find those. They're a lot of fun to catch, but they're just not going to make a good bag for you.
So if you're keeping up with the tournament series, on Smith Mountain Lake, you've seen multiple 10-pounders coming. Have you seen any of those level of fish or category of fish fishing for them?
Um, so actually, last summer I lost the biggest fish I've ever hooked, probably in my life. Um, right at the boat, I was night fishing on drop shot, and I know for a fact that fish was 10, and that's super rare, in summertime to catch one that big. And I went home. You know, it broke my heart. I texted Billy. I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I just lost the biggest fish I ever hooked, and that fish was deep, deep, deep. But and it was on drop shot, so I'll
Mm.
let that secret out. But um, yeah, that hurt my feelings, man. That's the biggest fish I ever hooked. When it came up next to the boat, I was like, oh my god! And as soon as I reached down to net it, hook pulled out. So yeah, and like the net scooped the back of it. Like I was devastated. I mean, I've lost big fish before. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. That one hurt. I was like, that was my fish of a lifetime. But yeah, there's some big ones coming, man. And but what's weird is I don't see as many this year of what I call like an average size bass, like a 3 pounder.
Mhm.
Um, it's either I don't know, it's like a 5 plus or a bunch of 2 pounders. Like that mid range, the 3.5 pounders. I haven't seen a ton of those at all. I mean, well, I would say the last 12 months, it's been pretty weird, man. I just haven't seen a lot of those. It's like you jump from a buck
Mhm.
to a tank. I mean, it's just it goes from that to that. I don't know what causes it. I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't know if it's a bait issue. I'm not sure what's going on there. But I
Would
think
you
that
say?
I think that shad spawn that shad kill we had this year is actually going to help us.
Yeah. Would you say the lake is pretty healthy at this time? Because if you look at the weights from tournaments, just last weekend, I think there was like what 3 20-pound bags or so. So would you
Right,
say that's a good indication that the lake is healthy?
man. The fish are super healthy that I'm catching. Great markings, just filled out. I'm not catching any with a 20-pound head and a 2 pound body. Like it's really healthy right now. It's good, man. The fish, of course, it's pre-spawn. Post-spawn, they look like Mike Tyson punched them in the face. But
Hmm.
um, right now, I mean, they're super healthy. Um, Lateral lines, like everything looks good. And what's funny, I was talking about the mid range on the largemouth. I've caught more big smallmouth this year than I've ever caught on Smith Mountain. I mean, it's like freaking moo right now. I'm catching a ton of smallmouth, which is great. But I'm like, where are these fish been? I'm catching 4 and 5 pounders. Like, where were these fish these previous years? I'm not fishing. Well, I mean, different techniques and stuff, but man, it's just like it's like an abundance of them. all of a sudden.
Are they in like certain areas of the lake, like down lake, up lake, or are you just catching them everywhere, like smallmouth?
I would say primarily the big smallmouth I caught this past winter were on the lower end of the lake. So from the dam to Standiford. I mean, I didn't really go too far above there this year, but that was pretty much the range. I was catching big smallmouth. I mean, some 2.5, 3 pounders mid lake,
Hmm.
but but lower end was where I was catching big smallmouth.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about the watercolor on the main channel, how does that affect, the guys who like to fish that offshore bite? Does that affect them at all? Just the water clarity, or does it help them? Does it hurt them?
Well, especially in the vertical game, it definitely hurts you. But what's strange is I've got what we call the juice. I've
Mm,
got a juice spot mid lake that for a month and a half. I mean, it was so consistent. This one bank, I could bare minimum a 4 pounder on this bank every time, and I see it. I mean, I catch a ton of fish on it, and now that it's yoo-hoo,
mm-hmm,
I'm not even seeing a fish on it. Like I'll go through there and spend an hour in live scope. I'm like, where did the fish go? Like,
hmm.
I don't know if they've become accustomed to the clear water. I don't know what's going on. It's like they're just gone. I mean, we're talking a whole arm of the lake. I mean, they're just gone. No bait, no nothing in there. It's just
I'm wondering if they're out deeper. Have they suspended out deeper into like deeper water?
I try. I mean, I went. I mean, it's a 45 bank.
Oh, okay.
So if they're shallow to deep, I would see them there somewhere.
Hmm.
But they're gone. They're like,
Hmm.
and Crystal Shores right now, but they have a feeder creek is clear, but across the lake you go to different arms. I mean, it's horrible. I mean that creek coming in has helped clear out Crystal Shores, but man, I mean it's taken forever to clear out.
And what's weird is that mid lake usually stays the cleanest. Like,
Yeah.
and as further you go up the Roanoke is where you get your dirty water. So I'm sure a lot of guys out there that fish that main lake are like, I don't know what to do, like, because their fish are gone. Um, so I'm
What's weird is I was at Blackwater last week. I mean, it was a little clearer than than it is mid lake. I would say 3 foot visibility, and there's fish everywhere.
mhm.
So I don't know. It's
So
just they
this,
don't like that mid lake right now.
yeah, I'm gonna pick your brain here for a second. So when this happens to you and your fish are gone per se, what is your next move? What do you do? Just keep moving.
Man, that's a great question. Um, you have to pivot, and that's when I start looking at what the pressure is, moon phase. Like I'll sit down and start going through everything, looking at because I'll keep my notes
Mhm.
from I caught this and this water temperature. The wind was this moon phase. Some people call it overkill, but man, I just when you have to go back to the drawing board, you start looking like what do I need to do? And a lot of guys will just keep the diehards are like dead set. I'm gonna fish this. I know I've caught fish on it. They caught a 5 pounder on this 2 years ago, and that's the only method now. I mean, you have to pivot so much, and this lake gets hit so hard with tournaments.
Mhm.
You're always trying to stay ahead of the game as far as finding spots that aren't beat to death. You got to get away from community holes. New techniques, new presentations. jerk bait, different cadence. Um, it's just a lot, man. But I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. Just
Yeah.
trying to stay ahead of the game.
Well, it just shows you're a student of the game. Like you're always thinking of that next, that next what you need to do or sitting down because that's key. Like most people don't do that. They'll just keep fishing that bank. And they're like, I'm gonna come up and lock on to one. But really, you have to pivot and maybe go to the other side of the lake or something. Uh,
Absolutely, yeah. My
no,
my ego doesn't get in the way. Like you said, I'm always trying to learn. There's tons that I don't know, um, and I don't know that I don't know that I wish I knew everything because then it wouldn't be fun anymore. So, um,
I can be honest. Every time I fish with you, I'm always learning because you're like, you try this, you try this. This is why they're here, and I'm like, that makes sense. Learning the drop shot. I never threw a drop shot until I was with you, and I was like, okay, there's something to this. There's
yeah, yeah.
uh,
It's funny. A lot of people they won't throw a drop shot, and they don't like spinning reels at all. And I used to be that way until I moved to Smith Mountain, and then that clear water, that finesse bite, and then now my two favorite techniques are Demiki rig and drop shot.
mhm.
Um, I catch my biggest fish every year on a spinning reel, so I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just fun. It's fun fighting. Like I caught a 22-pound striper on 7-pound test. I mean, that's fun, man. I mean,
Mm.
my forearms are smoked, but it's just fun.
Yeah, I'm a spinning guy myself. I love throwing the little shaky head. Still a little mad that we broke the one off in the trees, but we'll get him back. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
but let's kind of transition into some baits you're throwing this time of year in this transition period. I know it's all
Well, we had a super cold winter, and I would say, just by my assessment, I may be wrong, but I think we're about 2 weeks behind
Mhm.
where we typically are this time of year. Um, beginning of March, the jerkbait bite is typically just on fire, and it's within the last week just now started picking up really good. So, um, and I love throwing jerkbait, and this winter I struggled to catch fish on. I don't know, it was just weird, and the last week it's really turned on. I caught a few ones today, and you know now that we're behind right now, so I'm still catching the fire out of them on a freaking A rig. I know it's cheating, but
it's
um,
not around here. It's not. Hey,
yeah,
we can have them.
a lot of people hate throwing it. But I mean, it's an art to that too. You just don't throw it and reel it in. There's I pump mine every
Are you
few
blades?
retrieves.
Are you throwing with blades or no blades?
Blades, but I throw a single blade.
Okay.
Um, Picasso makes one that has a single blade.
Hmm.
Um, was it just blanked on the name of it? It's like something school. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
But it has a single blade on it, and yeah, it gets a different reaction than one that I see guys throw them that have like 16 blades on these things. I was like, have you ever seen a bait ball that shiny? I mean, I know that a thread fin has some flash to it, but not that much flash. And
yeah. And a sneaky way is, especially at Smith, is because it's so clear. Just not throw any blades on it and just let the baits work. I mean, I've
yeah,
seen it too.
I, I've caught several on no blades. Um, but if a fit like if they're the distance,
Hmm.
just that little bit of flash from that one blade will get their attention. But they're not coming in and seeing a disco ball,
Yeah,
when so it's just enough to get their attention. It's not to have a mirage. I mean, it's crazy. Some of the ones I've seen, I'm like, man, that's like a chandelier. All the blades on this thing. I'm like, I'll never catch anything on an A rig.
yeah. The flash mob that looks like a disco ball when you throw it out there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Um, funny enough, I was throwing the flash mob today, um, but I took all but one blade off.
See that works.
Yeah, yeah. Um, my Picasso, I grabbed a different rod and it was still on my rod at the house. I was like, oh no. And I brought out my A rigs. I was like, oh, I've got a flash mob. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna take all but one blade off. I mean, it worked.
Yeah. So we kind of got the move. Is there any other moving baits that you're throwing right now besides the jerk bait and A rig?
33 contact.
Okay.
Um, especially because right now they're like 5 foot to 15. The ones that are in wolf packs that are searching for bait. Um, if they're in the 5 range, if I can grab my jerk bait fast enough, I'll throw it out there. Um, but my 3-3 is always hanging over the side, so I can always just pick that up because the splash of the A rig when they're 5 feet on the surface, they're like cockroaches in eternal lights.
Yep.
So 3-3, like when they're right on the surface like that, is good.
What about the crank light? Has it came on yet?
Man,
Out.
I I threw it last. What day last week? We have like 50-mile-per-hour winds. Sunday.
Yes.
I threw it quite a bit, man. I threw rock crawler. I threw what else did I throw? The flicker shad, the Berkeley. Like I tried some flat sides, and I just didn't get bit on it.
I,
And I know guys that said they caught some on wigglewort the other day. Um, and I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm probably going to try cranking because it's supposed to be like 35 mile per hour gust tomorrow. Because
mhm.
the water temperature where I was today, I saw some 56 degrees, so I'm like, they have to be chewing a crank right now in the right conditions. So
Yeah. I mean, you would think. I still think we're a little bit behind on the crankbait bite. Like it's.
oh, 100%.
I think it's going to come probably 1st of April is when that's going to get good. Because the weather's going to kind of straighten out. We've had funky weather this winter, like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's not just the fish. I think everything's behind. Typically right now I see turkeys strutting every field.
yep.
I've seen some, but it's not like it typically is. I mean, everything's lagging behind right now.
Yeah. Usually I see them going to work and I don't see them at all, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. But
Yeah, yeah,
and you're fishing in a club now, correct?
yeah, yeah.
How is that going?
It's going good. I think I'm still first in points. Um, I have to. I'd have to ask the president to see. I think I'm still first in points. Um,
Because y'all have one on Smith and then Holston, I believe, right?
right. That was my first time fishing Holston.
Place, weird place.
It's different.
Mm.
Um, those fish are hit hard, man. You can tell that they are fished hard. I mean, it's a small lake, but you can tell they get their brains beat in. I mean, they're super skittish. Even Demiki,
Hmm.
I couldn't, I just couldn't dead stick it. I had to, bounce it or twitch my rod tip to get them to eat it, and they would just fly in. They would just stop and look at it.
Yeah, because
Um,
Holston's mostly like really like bluffy banks and stuff like that, right?
it's deep. Yeah, it's deep. um, and what's weird is saw a ton of bait, didn't see any fish on it.
Mm.
It's like they get hit so hard they're afraid to eat bait. I mean, it's pretty wild, but had, I had fun. I caught a ton of fish. Caught over 20 that day, which I'll take as a win my first time there. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
no, I didn't catch any largemouth. It was all smallmouth. But man, they were deep. I mean, I caught one. Um, was a 64 foot. I mean, they're deep, and
Is that out?
like Bass Geek, he was saying they'll catch them like 80 to 100 foot. I'm like, jeez. Actually, I called him when I left Holston. He was like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Man, it's different. It's different." Um, 3-3 and Demiki is the only thing I caught fish on. Like a rig, they would fly away from it.
Mm,
They've I guess they've seen it so much. Um, that's a lie. I did catch one on jerkbait, but one on jerkbait, 3-3 and Mickey. That man, that's the only thing I can get bit on. But um,
that's
I had to go through baits on the Mickey to figure out what they're going to eat, and it ended up being the spunk shad. The missile is like the only thing I can get them to eat. Like the mooch minnow, everything that we fish on Smith.
mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, what haven't they seen? And missiles right up the road, so it's not the local thing for them, so they probably haven't seen that many smoke shad, and they were chewing it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Holston's a whole nother, and you were fishing region, right? The
Yeah,
region.
yep.
I
And
love
next one is next weekend on Smith.
that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
gonna be a fun one. I used to fish the regions; those were fun times. Uh, I used to be in the club you were in. Then life happens, and you get kids, and that has to stop. But
I get it.
we're there. Chuck,
Well, my kids are older now. Mine are 18 and 15, so
yeah,
um,
got a 2 year old, so
sometimes I get jealous of those that have young kids because I miss it, but then I'm just like,
mm,
man, the no sleep, it's like they're
yeah,
petri dishes. They're always sick. I'm like, man,
yep,
try to keep you as healthy as I can. I'm like, where are you getting germs from? So,
yeah. So your next one's at Smith. Um, Leading the points. That's pretty good. Well, we think you're leading points. Because I
I
know.
know bare minimum second. I think I'm leading the points. I think I'm 80%. Probably 90% sure I'm leading the points right now.
Yeah, because you guys got some hammers in that club. I can
Yeah,
you, Mr. Ian. I'll give a shout out to Ian Branson and Jonathan. They're good as well. Or he's
Ian's a stick. Ian's a stick. And I like Ian a lot, man. And yeah, that dude's a stick.
yeah. So coming down to the end of this, where can my viewers and my listeners find you if they want to look you up?
Um, Instagram is Catching Tanks. Facebook is Harmon Outdoors. Um, I don't do much on YouTube. You know, all that editing and
Hmm.
nobody really looks at it. But one thing that I do want to say before we get off here, a lot of people make the mistake this time of the year in pre-spawn. They'll be going to spots where they saw fish on beds last year. They just go straight to there. They need to back up. Back up 3, 4 points. I mean, you really need to start checking, stump beds, secondaries, leading up to where you saw that fish on spawn last year because they're making their way there, and that's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make this time of year. But yeah, catching takes on Instagram, Facebook, Harmon Outdoors, and I need to get you back out of the water, man.
I know, no, it's been a long time, but no, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I know it was kind of a late night, but yeah, we definitely got to link up again and get out there and fish. But till then, I appreciate you coming on and keep catching them, man.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yep. Hold on one second.